Okay, so this is going to be an analysis of my Blizzard 4 IL. I'm going to do this a lot more often now. I'm going to do this like ILs that aren't even mine. I'm going to analyze them, show what can be improved, why these ILs are so good. The thing about Blizzard 4 is that I've been grinding this level like hell to the point now where it's a 27,480, which is very close to being fully optimized. I think the best this level can go is probably like 27.1 or 27.2. And it's all down to getting that perfect movement. This level's way faster than the Taz is now as well, so it's kind of cool. I'm just going to watch it through once and then I'm going to break it down. So, I reset like that. I'm really proud of this IL personally. I don't like having to see myself there though. So like, one of the things that really helped me get this record was that the IG there, which is the instant get up. People call that instant recovery sometimes. I call it instant IGU because it sounds cool. Yeah, so now this level is like really short, so it's excellent to like analyze. And that was essentially it. As you can see, yeah, 27.48, which went down by nearly a second. Like that is 0.96 faster than second place now, which was already really quite optimal. So I'm going to turn down the speed a lot. I'm going to put down to 0.5, turn down the volume a bit. Alright, so this first one I do reset because like my dash there was just so wonky. Like the thing about this level straight away is that like you need to jump, grab the egg, and then literally yeet the camera around like 90 degrees and keep running towards that, so that slope in a straight line. That's like really hard to maintain. It's definitely one of the harder parts of the speedrun of this level. Is like getting a good start. It's also it's quite difficult. It's for a beginner at least. It's like I'm trying to get that optimal is hard. You sort of get used to it over time, but so we'll reset. Okay, so the first thing I do is I point my camera here because what that does is I used to point it straight at the egg, but by doing that, the text box would go. Then the camera would do its weird thing where like it would tilt it in that direction we didn't want it to go. So, and then I'd have to try and like move around the egg to then dash. But the problem with that was that like I was spending time trying to work with the camera, and I was like moving around to the back of the egg, which was slowing me down. So by pointing my camera where it is there, where my mouse is pointed, I will walk forward, jump, the text box will come up, and then the camera will do that weird thing. But when I do that movement to get into the egg, I hit it on the side, which is where I want it to be, and I can grab the egg a little bit sooner than that used to be. So another thing I have to mention is I'm going to like count a few steps, and then I'm going to do a big jump before the text box. This is actually slower RTA, but in ILs this is faster. If the text box is close to Billy, then you can jump over the text box a bit, which will trigger the IL timer later, which is why we do the jump. So if anyone didn't know that, so we jump here, we mash through the text box, and then the IL timer will start from now rather than say like a couple steps back, and that will really help improve this IL. So yeah, like that, I basically move straight to the egg with that precision, and I start dashing. Like the Tash used to go through these blue hoops, but instead now what we're doing is we go up this slope and do a long jump straight into the green hoop. This is fast if you get into the green hoop straight away. I think it might be a tad slower if you don't. I'm not actually sure, but it's definitely faster to do this. So I'm going to do 2 dashes, and on the second dash I'm then going to dash cancel at the bottom of the slide, because if I dash cancel the bottom of the slide, then I can start a fresh dash up here without worrying about stopping, and it's also just helps keep maintaining movement. You don't have to slow down or curve in a certain way, you can just keep moving forward. So I dash, and then I dash cancel and dash again, and I long jump into here. I tend to. So there's a right where my mouse is. There's like a dark spot. I tend to like base that off of I tend to jump around there. That's like my reference. Also, I use a lot of the snow as references. So you see this line here? I base off whether that was a good jump or how far away I get from that. If I'm close to it, then I'm like, oh, that was a bit bad. If it's sort of halfway between there and the egg, then I'm like, that's a good one. So, see, I get about halfway between where that line and the egg was, so I knew that was good. So we'll just rewatch that. And I jump there, and that gets me directly into the green hoop. And now this takes a lot of getting used to, but what I do is basically, the moment I land in that green hoop, I want to be pressing A, and I don't want to be delaying that as long as I can, otherwise I'm just losing milliseconds there, and I don't want to be losing frames. So, you can hear me like press it preemptively, like, that's how quick I am. And then I get into the green hoop, and from this point, I've got like no control over what I can do here, so I'm just rotating the camera so I can just hold forward and roll to the other side. I also want to be pressing R when I land immediately, so I roll, and then I can jump over the gap. So literally, as soon as I land, I'm going to press R, and I'm going to jump here to get over this gap. I'm going to then land, and as soon as I get up, I'm going to press R again as soon as I touch the floor, I'm going to press R to initiate a dash, and I'm going to do the double tree long jump here over the single tree, because I think it's a little bit faster, and it's a lot easier as well. It's a lot more consistent. You can jump earlier as well to you basically have a lot more room to use the tree and still get it across. Whilst the other one, like you'd probably like the single tree, you'd probably just still miss. Double tree is definitely easier. So then I'd like dash here, and I do a dash jump, and then I'm going to initiate bounce, and this is what decides whether or not this is going to get a good time or not. And this is the IGU tech, the instant get up. So it took me ages to understand the instant get up tech, but that's what it looks like. I cut off about half a second by removing all the get up frames, so I can immediately keep dashing. And it is such a good tech. I fucking love IGUs. But God, I look so tired. I spent 2 hours doing that. So the IGU is basically you want to try and get your egg, the tip of your egg, essentially. It's hard to see with the mouse, but you can sort of see this like line where like the sort of the raised bit starts coming up. You kind of want to like land so like the tip of your egg touches that, basically touches the start of that incline or like the line, and then you'll do an IGU. It's kind of really hard to time. It took a lot of resets to get it, and sometimes I was getting it where like the egg would roll off and I'd have to basically reset because I had to go chase the egg, and it was horrible. So as soon as I land, I dash twice, and at the end of that dash, I initiate a dash jump into the green hoop, and I press A immediately yet again. From this point on, I basically hold left very slightly. So like I sort of hold that way for like a few frames. So then I can initiate a roll as early as I can on this platform up here without touching the sign. The sign, if you were to touch the sign, you basically just get bounced off, and you can imagine it loses you time. I also roll in such a way, I think the most optimal roll, and I've had this happen to me a few times, is basically where you're going so early enough that you don't bounce off, but early enough where you think, like, it's really hard to explain. Like, you basically touch this bit of the wall, and you kind of like clip through it slightly and then come out. It's sort of like, I think that's the fastest you can do it. It's basically where it is borderline you're going to bounce off, but you don't. That wasn't perfect. That's where I think I could save some time. I also think I could have saved time here on the IGU, because like I sort of get it, and I have to I don't initiate a dash straight away, because it's kind of, you get the IGU and you're sort of like there watching it, like go, oh god, that's the IGU, and then you go, and it's like you got to be ready to IGU. And usually when I get prepared to IGU, I'm never like, I never get it. And then when I don't think I'm going to IGU, I always get it and I'm unprepared. So I think I can save like definitely a few frames there by reacting sooner and getting this roll better. From here, I get up. I do like one step. I take one step with Billy and then I jump. If you jump straight away, you won't make it into the room. So you take one step, dash, and then you want to roll as late as you can, because like, I just realized how close that is. Like, yeah, he just makes it in, and then I initiate a dash jump towards Bantam. This ain't the best spot because Billy could be like sort of closer to the egg, but either way, this is good enough to get this time. So I immediately get up, I jump, and I throw the bomb. And I think the bomb throw could have been faster, but the bomb throw is such a gamble. It's so scary because like, what can happen is you can like press A, throw the bomb, and you think, oh, I'm dead, and then you don't die. But then you can also press it really early, and then just blow yourself up. And it's so hard to get that perfect bomb time that it's so stressful. That wasn't as fast as it could have been. That was good enough, in my opinion. It was just not fast enough. And then I wait here for Bantam. They got like a 26-1. Something like that. And then I basically mash B to like get the to like talk to Bantam as quick as possible for the IL timer. It starts going up again. Because the IL timer will start going up again, you don't want to lose frames, so just mash B. And then checkbox comes down. I start holding forward at this point. Sometimes if you hold right, it hold like upright. Sometimes, you know, you're going away from the emblem. So I hold forward for like the first few frames, and then wherever I see the emblem, I just start moving towards it. And I jump fairly early there. Like, see, that was one of the things that Zelda told me when I was doing like my 56, was that like I jumped too late. So that's one thing I took into mind. I jumped very early, so I basically just fall into the emblem, essentially. And that's basically how I got the 2748. I think this could be a 2715, maybe at best. Like, I think if anyone got a 2715, it would be the best IL you could probably get. Maybe being able to be about like a millisecond, but it's that point you want to leave that down to Taz. It's getting to that point now where there's levels indestructible. 26 might be possible on Taz, I don't know. But with that is the end of the video. So things that need improving is basically it's just getting the IGU reaction like down to a T where you don't even like, you're not even phased by it. You just sort of go like IGU like that rather than go IGU. God, I sound so daft, but that's one of the things. The roll was the blue hoop roll was a lot better than the 56, but yeah, that could have been like perfect. And then just the bomb was the slowest part of that IL, and it's definitely the hardest part. I had definitely had better ILs that got killed by the bomb, and that's the upsetting part. The bomb is definitely the hardest part. So thank you for listening to me ramble for 14 minutes on the IL. Yeah, I might do this again. I might do this on part 5 next. Maybe Dino 8. Dino 8's a good one. I might do a Dino 8 one now, actually. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do Dino 8. Alright, see you guys.